Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Run Radio Virtual Vision. Cruiser Mail, you look digitized.
I I do?
Yeah.
What do you mean, pixelated or what?
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, I don't know.
All right. Hey, we can hear you good. That's all that matters. All good.
Well,
All right. So,
I'm trying to look
there
something up for you, and
you
I'm
looking
having
good. There
trouble.
you go. It's all good. All right. So, let's talk about tonight. We got a great show for you. We have 1,000 Weeks. We're going to play a lot of their music with video so that you can hear it, and it's all good. You've heard some of it on a previous show. We're going to talk a little bit about Todd, of course, and Bearsville and things like that. We have Prairie Prince talking to us tonight. We have a great video of Chasm. It's like a before it's finished type video. He's doing Cliche on bass with a little bit of background music from 1,000 Weeks. They're doing their version of Cliche, the Todd song, as you know, that Chasm does live a lot, Cruiser Mill.
Yes, he does. He's got a good voice for it, but this will be interesting tonight listening to it. I think it's going to be isolated, just his bass, right?
No, there's a little bit of singing in it,
Oh, okay,
but
cool.
it's a little different. Yeah, it's pretty, I mean, it's very pronounced. How about that?
Pronounced. Okay.
Yeah. Chasm is opening tonight for the Fix, and he's got one more show. I think it's November 2nd with the Fix in Florida. Check that out if you haven't already. Mel and I love the Fix. Great band. Started
80s.
in the 80s. They're not just an 80s band, but we had them open for Todd in Indianapolis and St. Louis during the Todd Healing Tour. Really
They were,
enjoyed them. A lot of fun.
the Todd fans really enjoyed him too.
Yeah, and they're big fans of Todd, especially Cy Kernan, who's also been on some of our shows with the wine tasting and things in 2020, helped us get through the
Oh,
pandemic.
those were fun. Yeah.
Yeah, he was a lot of fun, wasn't he?
Hmm.
All right, so how about Bearsville Cruise Man? What a great time.
Oh, it really was. And boy, did we get lucky. Everyone in town was saying that it's usually much colder
Mm.
at this time of year, but everyone was really enjoying walking around that darling little village or hamlet, whatever you want to call it, and visiting everybody. And of course, two Todd shows, and there was a Run Radio party,
Oh,
just a
yeah.
little one.
The weather was outstanding. The party was a lot of fun. The party was at Utopia Studios. Has a lot of Todd history. I'm sure y'all have all heard that from us enough already, but it was really fun to be in it. And the bands were absolutely stellar. We had Hermits of Mink Halloween. We had Secret Society, who went on this ridiculously wonderful prog medley. And we had Mary Lou sing I Saw the Light, do
And
some
Bruce McDaniel too.
Bruce McDaniel opened for the both bands, I guess you'd call it. Did some solo stuff, keyboards and guitar was wonderful. Um, and then we had Doug Howard, the 10-minute Utopian, do a little,
Oh,
yeah,
isn't he just the nicest guy? Oh my
yes.
word.
He don't fail me now. It's really nice of him to come. He had a recent accident falling down the stairs when sleepwalking actually, and he is still recovering, but he was there and he did a great job.
I agree. I agree. He's quite a gentleman. There he is. He's got a cane and everything. And I walked over to introduce myself and he stood up and I thought, please don't do that. Somebody brung him up right though.
Well, Bobby and Gil came by. We were just missing Chasm and Prairie, who ironically are on our show tonight. We're going to have them featured on here anyway.
I
So,
don't think they came into town until the next day.
yeah, it's all good. We've had them many times. We had a great turnout. It was a lot of fun. Now, Chasm's doing some tour again with the some Beatles tribute action, right?
Well, I think that's why I was pixelated. I was trying to look up the dates and
Yeah.
my browser thingy couldn't handle looking them up. So, yes, he is. I don't know when it's going to start. I have no idea.
No worries. Everybody knows to go to chasmsultant.com. You can figure it out. So he'll be back on tour. Prairie's on that tour with him as well. They did some shows this year. So if you liked it or haven't seen it, you will have a chance to see that again.
Is Gil going to be on it this
I
time?
believe so. Zan said Gil. Yeah, that's right. You are correct.
Okay.
Your memory is solid.
No, it's not. I killed some brain cells at that party the other night. Ooh.
Yeah, perhaps a little bit. So
Yeah.
Todd got to the key to the city. If you missed that, we posted it live on our Facebook page. There's lots of videos other people posted. So it was a lot of fun to see that. And had a state senator show up. It was fancy, cool little key deal. Foamy guitar made by Rennie, who's local there, popular guy that's makes the keys when they give them to people like Levon and those type folks. So
Yeah, I was surprised when I saw that. Now, I had to leave town to get home for a high school thing.
mhm.
So explain to me, I mean, whenever I've seen Keys to the City in movies or whatever, it usually looks like a big gold skeleton key or whatever.
Right.
But this was that little small guitar, right?
Yes, but had a key with it, but it was set up to be the guitar. You had to hold the key. So it's just a cool collector's item, I guess, for better, like a better term for Todd. And Rennie does that for the musicians. It's a Woodstock thing,
No.
and he does a great job with it, as you could see. Even the foam even had the little scratch on it.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Awesomeness. Well,
yeah.
it was, I enjoyed seeing the photos from that day, and I listened to Todd. He was quite gracious in describing the little hamlet when he lived there, and the feelings that he got and everything. It was very good, very good.
Very nice. Todd's shows were great. I got to see at least one of them anyway. The Hawking was just mind blowing the first night. I'm not sure what the hit was on the second night. People love, but really good shows, great theater, a lot of history with Todd. But speaking of Todd, let's talk about the future a little bit. He did drop a couple of hints at the sound check. He's been doing that apparently at sound checks. Has admitted, which, a lot of times they keep everything under the bed, but he's doing a Burt Bacharach tribute tour, for lack of a better term. Chasm Sultan's involved. Some of the people that were involved in the Bowie Beatles shows, apparently, like a drummer, keyboardist, maybe. So it'll be sometime in 2025. And then he hinted that he may be going to Europe in the summer of 2025. CLB seems to be convinced that it's a lock he's going to Europe. So we'll go with that maybe. It's good news,
Mhm. Well, he's always said he was a big fan of Burt Bacharach,
Yes.
whatever. So I wasn't too terribly surprised.
No.
But it'll be interesting to see what songs are selected, because Bert's got this catalog of hundreds of songs.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Most of them were hits, so
Yeah.
it could be just a very, very long show. Who knows?
No, well, Burt was a big influence on Todd. We all know that. So what the world needs now is some Todd doing Burt.
There you go, quoting.
It's all coming. So what that also means is, if there's a tour coming up, I don't know about you, Cruising Rail, but I kind of got the fever. I really enjoyed Bearsville enough. I think we need to do a party in 2025. I mean, we just are having too much fun not to.
Okay, we'll start thinking about cakes already then.
Do I need to twist your arm a little bit? Is that your kind of delayed response there?
No, you don't
The
have to.
cake was delicious, by the way. Chocolate cake at Bearsville was stellar. It looked cute too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to the bakery there in Saugerties, New York. It was called Hudson Valley Desserts Company, and it really was good. It tasted like somebody's mom had made it. It was very good.
Yes.
So
Well, let's give a shout out to Kristen Farrell behind the scenes. She helped us out a lot. She's a local over there from the same town you just mentioned, and she really helped us out a lot. So
she did. Thanks,
Todd
Kristen.
fan. Good to see her too. After I don't think we'd seen her since like 2011 or so.
hasn't changed a bit.
No. All right. So we got anything else?
Let's get on
I think
with it.
that's a wrap. Todd is supposed to be working on a new album. He has said that. He has been quoted as saying that. But we have no scoop.
Well, he's always working on an album,
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Anyway, let me get in just one little 2 words. Go Dodgers tonight.
You're not
Thanks.
supposed to tell people about that because they might disappear from here and go watch that.
Well, y'all can put the scores in on the chat if you want.
Yes,
'Cause
those of
I
you
don't
who are
have
live
access.
with us, we appreciate you being live. We know a lot of people watching the archive, but it's I know you have some of you may be big fans, have something to do, but we appreciate you joining us. And there's always the archive. All shows archive permanently, so you can watch this another time. If you have to go watch the Dodgers, who are going to beat the Yankees, it's clear soon enough. All right, so without further ado, let's talk about the reason we're doing the show, 1,000 Weeks. Let's bring some of them in. We got a bunch of them, actually. So, wow, look at this.
Full house.
Hey,
Yay! Thank you all for being here instead of the World Series. I promised I'd talk baseball. I can talk about Mookie Betts. Can talk Aaron Judge. We'll throw in some scores here, so I promise it'll be good.
Y'all gonna have to write a baseball song like Meatloaf did.
Yeah.
Back in June when the White Sox were in it, I was. Oh wait, no, that was a dream. Never mind. Sorry.
All of our music is inspired by Joey Votto, so that's we can just go there. So.
Your music.
My music.
Yes. All right, we got a lot of music to play, so let's get that party started because Mel and I ran a little bit longer than I wanted to. We like to yak too much, I guess. So we got Zan here, obviously. We got Candice here, Fred, as y'all know, Joe. We got everybody. Your names are right there. So those three at the bottom of the screen have been with Conduit of Humanity for a long time. Zan has just now gotten to the picture with this 1,000 weeks, which from my understanding was the intent was to have all female voices for the singing. So we'll get into that some a little bit later, but that is the difference between the two. And is there anything I got to add to that? Am I right on spot or am I off?
That sounds right to me.
Yeah, it's about it grew out of it. We talk about it sort of like it's sort of the next iteration. Things continued to grow, and we'll talk through the process of how we started to contribute throughout this whole throughout everyone listening to the songs. We're excited for everyone to hear our songs.
Yeah, that sounds good. One thing I do want to mention, I mentioned in the newsletter earlier. So people go, okay, what does this have to do with Todd? What's the connection? And like Secret Society, basically, my record fantasy camp Todd did. That's how they got to know each other and got together. Otherwise, we would never know Daniel from Brazil. And that's what brought them together. And then Todd Stock West is where Fred and Zan probably met.
Yeah.
But, definitely all Todd fans, Joe, Fred, Candice, so it's part of these events that Todd does and Todd fans do brings people together, and then all of a sudden we have some fresh music, which you're going to get to hear tonight.
Exactly. We come together through Todd, and then we find ourselves in the position of having similar tastes, and we end up making these crazy songs.
Although I was highly intimidated at Todd Stock when I saw Zan in her super.
I had a shaved head. At the time, and I had a shaved head.
Super villain look. I was like, I can't even talk to. No, I'm gonna get. No, she'll probably hurt me.
Very afraid.
Yeah, she's so threatening. Oh my.
All right.
I got the shoulder belt.
Yeah. All right. So let's we'll have Prairie soon. Let's do the band intro with Colder Zone. Tell me a little bit about that song before I play it, and we'll get it going.
I want to give it to Candice for this because this song really started with Candice, and I think she should be the first one to talk about it.
Hey, Candice. Candice, by the way, has been to some Akron functions and some parties with us, and even performed in the little, I guess, a basement of the Akron Hilton Fairlawn, which was a great hotel for us and very nice and generous. So, yeah. Hey, Candice.
Hi. Fred, that one started with me and you, I think.
It started with you just singing.
Yeah. I was singing into my phone. I get these ideas that come out of nowhere. And then Fred and I share a practice space in Chicago, and we throw ideas back and forth. And I guess that's basically how that one started.
Yeah, when I heard it, I gave it to Joe, and Joe made sure there was the drums that still exist today with obviously a produced sound, but immediately it was easy to figure out a guitar, and just the drive of the song just continued to grow and grow, and it was all built on Candice's vocals. So
okay.
I had a blast making my part.
Yeah. All right, folks. So Joe produced. Joe's also a bass player, but he produced this, so that's why you keep hearing him refer to him. That is why. All right, let's get this party started. Y'all ready for some music?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, good stuff.
Very pretty. Oh,
Yes.
I love the trance-like feeling I got there.
Yeah, trance. I was looking for a word. That would be good around a fire in Bearsville at night, hanging out, perhaps.
Dancing around the fire. That would be great.
Yeah, there you
Fantastic.
go.
Yeah.
All right, good stuff.
I
So why
love
did they
that.
call it Colder Zones? Got any purpose behind the name, or you just come up with stuff off the fly? You ask AI. I don't know how you come up with a song name.
Yeah, that one was Fred.
Yeah, it was basically initially a lyrical response to everybody's concern in life and not being able to make the present moment.
You're turning into a
And at
robot.
least an idea there. And then once I just get an idea off to Candice, then she rolls with it.
Yeah, it could be Trance Zone. That's gonna be me and Mel's name.
Did you lose me?
No, you
A
did.
little bit for a second, but
Just for a minute. You went robot
All right.
on us for a second. All right, so we got a lot to play. I hope everybody enjoyed that because you're gonna get some more. Precipice of Innocence. Let's hear about this one.
All right, I'll take this one. It came up with a little guitar ditty, and my wife Madge played harmonica to it. And then we just, a few months ago, started rebuilding it because I unfortunately didn't record to a click, and that's always pretty important when you're sharing files around. So once we had that and the bass, then we added some vocals and got Prairie Prince to play drums. Very exciting.
The Prairie song. Okay, cool.
This is a Prairie song.
Yep.
Yeah.
So he
And this is one I believe we asked him, Fred, correct, and Joe, correct me if I'm wrong. We said, can you do a little bit of the sacrificial bonfire? Is that this one?
Yes.
Yeah.
this
So we
is
said,
the
you got
one.
to, can you
Yeah.
bring the sacrificial bonfire from XTC vibe into this? And so that, I mean, hopefully you'll hear, I don't know if I should have said that before because,
Right.
but yeah.
That's
anything
okay.
XTC is good.
But when the drums first came in, I'm like, oh my goodness, he did it again.
Yeah.
Prairie's just amazing.
Okay, so let me ask you this, Joe, and this is gonna piss off Fernando Perdomo. Sorry, Fernando, because I know it's a hot topic with you. But you're able to take Prairie, just sends you these files, right? And you add them to the rest of the music.
Actually, Prairie and I work together in the studio.
No, it wasn't.
So I send him the files in advance.
Mhm.
And then when he comes in, we either give him our sense of what we're looking for or just let him have at it, which is that's what we like to do most of the time is let the players play. And
Okay, well,
and do
Fernando
what they
hates drum tracks, the fake drum deal. So I was trying to. So if you're going to do something like with Prairie, you can't just get a recording. You have to do it in a studio, or can you get him just to send you clips of drums? How would that work?
I always would prefer to do it in the studio.
Okay, makes sense. I think most people would prefer the music to come from a studio. But
And I can tell you from working with Prairie's file, because sometimes we share all these files around, and sometimes there'll be, like all the different drum files, and drum files are insane. It's like you have the snare and the tom and the room, and so drum files are actually really massive and amazing to work with. So it's really been impressive to see Joe work with Prairie's drums and then make it all come together and sound like a really great, beautiful drum track. So it's pretty impressive, honestly.
yeah, that's cool. For us people who don't do that kind of stuff, it's interesting to learn a little bit about it and not be in the dark completely. All right, very good. Let's get some Precipice action going. You ready?
yes.
Prairie Prince on drums, people. Here we go.
The sound of a faraway train, innocence. Once it's gone, it's gone. You can't unknow. you know you can't go back to when you did. Misty memories remain. No way to know the it's not what you would think. On the precipice of innocence, there's no going back. Once it's gone, it's gone.
Oh, everything is going great. I just feel like $1,000,000. I'm so glad to be back home in my beautiful little beach pad out here in the Sunset District of San Francisco. This is my my little office here with different things in it. With my electronic drum set that I rehearse all my music with. Got drums. I got a bunch of stuff. There's a big gong over there.
Bang a gong.
Yeah.
There you go. How's the tiki bar going?
I don't know. I've been out there in 6 weeks. Probably rats infested. I'm not kidding. Rats or raccoons. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've got to go out when I get some time and clean it up a little bit. But
There you go. All
yeah,
right.
I'm working on getting my record out, and I'm working on getting some videos done. I think not sure when it's going to come out, but sort of my new goal now is my birthday, 75th birthday, which is May 7th, 2025. I was born in 1950. Oh, yeah.
Who are some of the people that are with you on this album you're doing?
Oh, well, you. I think I'm going to get you at least on a video. I got you can say in Trash White. So Todd Rundgren helped me write a song called Trash White, the angry color. And each one of the songs is dedicated to a color and a passion. So the passion on Trash White is anger. And it's nothing against you. But,
And you want to put Doug in there?
No, I just want Doug just to, be included in the chant. It's all about, fight for your right to party kind of thing. And
Fight for your right to party, Beastie Boys.
Yeah. So anyway, Todd is going to deliver his verses. He wrote the verses of the song. And I've been trying to get him to do a video on the bus or in a dressing room or something. There's always been a problem, so we haven't done it. But he said he would send it to me, Kauai, where he has everything set up. So I look forward to that.
Sounds very interesting.
I think it's going to be an interesting record. I think people will not know what to do with it really, but they'll listen to it at times of need, and such as like when you're really depressed or something, listen to some of the ones, like one's called Orange Joy, and it just makes you feel good. Yeah. If you're really happy, there's one called Blue Despair, and that'll bring you right down to reality.
Yeah. There.
So,
all right.
What's been going on with that? I just finished the Todd tour of the MeWe tour. Started.
Well done, by the way.
Started in April, and I think it was we were all a little wary of the set list at first, but we thought, we played a bunch of those songs, but we also have not played a few of them, and the way he put it together was just like a sermon kind of, which I thought was pretty ingenious. And the fact that it ran like a Broadway, almost like a Broadway play, where there was, you took yourself out of the personal part of him, like he didn't talk to the audience and stuff. And he says that at the end of the show, he goes, I didn't do a lot of talking in this, but I've been talking the whole time, all night with my music. So I just thought it was really cool. And,
yeah, a lot of good messages in that one. Good tour.
75 shows we did since April.
Yeah.
75. Okay. That's why I'm sick.
That's a lot.
Some other people have been, it's rough on the road. What was the toughest new song to learn that y'all had to do?
I didn't have any ones that were tough. Well, Woman's World is just, it's an exercise because it's pretty hard charging. But we played that back on the Individualist tour. I think that's what the tour was. Yeah. 95 or something. And I love that song. I think it's a great song. I'm not sure if it's kind of a little bit pro and con for women. But, I mean, hopefully it's just, you keep saying Woman's World over and over and over, they'll get the idea that it's pro women.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So you're going Tubes tour probably next year? Doing some
Well,
Tubes?
we could probably do a few shows. Some things. The first one we did got postponed because Martha Davis, we were doing one of those kind of 80s group shows.
Yeah.
And it was supposed to be in early November. And she, I guess, was diagnosed with breast cancer. So they postponed it until she's better. So they're going to reschedule that show. Then we just had 3 shows, a couple in Ohio and one in Indiana. And Fee just decided that he just didn't really want to do them. And didn't give me much of an answer, and I was out on the road, so I haven't really spoken to him about why he canceled them. But yeah, we need to find out why they're still on the website.
There you go. Well, I got my pink on. This is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, coincidentally, and I hate to hear that about Martha. We love Martha Davis. I got a great picture of Martha Davis, by the way.
Oh,
you
yeah.
ever seen it?
I think you showed it to me. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good.
We did a few gigs with her, and she's great. Yeah, and she was saying on that song Monkey Time on our album, the Outside Inside album back in the day, and she didn't, she was on the record. And then Michelle Gray was in our band, so she took up the lead vocal. It was a duet with the, so she sang the Martha Davis part live, which she killed. She was kind of great.
Sure. Yeah. Awesome. All right. Well, I've got Joe covered up with our logo, so I'm going to get rid of that right quick. Somehow.
R&R.
Yeah. I saw he looks like sort of one of those iconic heads from MTV back in the day. I'm like, now he's got an eye.
Now he looks like a cyclops.
Yeah, that's better at least. You're right. All right. So, well, let's get into the 1,000 Weeks album.
Yeah.
And talk about that a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm wearing the shoulder pads, so I'm going to start the interview because I look like the professional. But no, Prairie, we're so glad to have you as part of this album. I mean, the collaboration on
I'm always so happy to when Joe calls and goes, "We got some more songs for you guys for you to put some drums on." I love it, and it was really great working with Joe and Fred and a couple of the other guys. I can't remember everybody that I actually got in contact with, but a lot of it was just the track parts were sent in to Joe. And he just said, well, I'm not sure what the feel is on this. Some of you guys came up with a little drum machine part that thought might give me some guidance, which is always helpful. I always like to have some guidance. And I also like to be able to, get the leash taken off too a little bit. And Joe seemed to like everything I did. So.
Well, that was my first question for you because I was one of the people that sent in a sketch of a track, and it was incredibly rough, probably as rough as you could get. Maybe a key part and it was almost like a MIDI track, and then a click track, and what's it like to get the roughest sketch, and what's your process for then saying, how do I turn this into my part, your part?
Yeah, what is my process?
Yeah,
I mean, you can get the feel a little bit from the vocal, I guess. You had the vocal part there. That's a hard one to remember exactly what my take was on it at that moment. But I think we did a couple ideas, and Joe was my producer, so he just said, yeah, that sounds good. Or no, why don't you do something a little different there or something?
Yeah.
And I can follow people around like a little lapdog.
Well, do you feel like
Andy Partridge always said, just throw him the stick and he'll bring it back.
That's a good description of like how you do you feel like you're a follower, but like because you have your own. And I'll tell you, the track I sent you started with a track I was listening to, a track you had done with Chris Isaak, and so
I got that direction from Joe. Yeah.
So it's like you hear, it's almost like it is like a boomerang. So we send you something and you send it back to us.
Yeah. Well, that was a good lead into how to approach that for sure. To have that,
right?
A little brushwork kind of groove.
What are some of your favorite collaborative projects you have done in the past that have that give and take? Like, what's your favorite form of collaboration on this?
Well, I guess one of the first times was, just doing session work is a collaboration thing, because a lot of times you don't hear the songs beforehand, and you get there and each musician is learning, the artists, whoever's hiring you to do a song, and with their feedback and their input and stuff, and then each one of the musicians kind of works off each other to make a piece of music. When the first time I really noticed all that was I was working with Nicky Hopkins in England, and of course the band that he hired to be his session people were, I was in shock basically. It was George Harrison, it was Ray Cooper on percussion, it was Klaus Vorman on bass, Mick Taylor on guitar, and I'm just some kid from San Francisco on drums, because he met me in San Francisco and said, I've got some solo record I want to do. I want you to hire you to be the drummer, and I'll take you over there and do it. So none of those guys had ever really heard of me or anything, at that time. But as it turned out, it worked out really well. I got to meet some really neat people, and yeah. So that was like the first time I kind of really felt like I was collaborating with, a bunch of really professional musicians. And, I was already in the tubes and stuff, and we had done a bunch of demos and things, and that's all collaboration too. We were a band, and we'd throw in ideas, throw them in the hat, and come up with all the songs that we ended up doing, 10 albums with. An odd collaboration. I was asked by Brian Eno to come and work on a record with him and David Byrne called My Life in the Bush of Ghosts. Mm-hmm. And they had already worked on a few tracks in like different studios around the country, and they were in LA, and I had met Brian Eno through an attempt to get him to produce the Tubes back in the late 70s. He declined because he was just getting ready to do U2, and he had already done Devo, I think. And he loved us, though, and he came and saw us perform, and he wrote a beautiful letter of recommendations for recording for the Tubes. Like if he had been there, it would have been a completely different record that turned out. But I still have the letter he wrote, and it was just all these really wacky ideas. And I don't know if anybody's seen that. There's a documentary about Brian Eno out now. It's really good.
Is that the one where you can see it a million times and it's always different?
Yeah, it's always really different. Yeah, and stuff like that. He did mention that record. I don't know if he mentions me in any of it, but whatever. Yeah. But that was an amazing experience working with David Byrne and Brian. It was just the three of us, and we just collaborated on strange stuff. He goes, "Can you just go play that bass guitar?" I go, "I don't know how to play bass." He goes, "That doesn't matter. Just play some rhythms on it, with your hands." I went, "Okay." And then he made it sound incredible, like these crazy, just sounded like an electronic groove on a bass, and things like that. We built a drum set out of garbage cans from the studio because he didn't like the drum set that was actually there. Together all those tall kind of plastic garbage cans with gaffer tape, and I had sort of an octobahn sort of set and a bass drum, and the credit on the record says cans and bass drum. But listen to that record sometime. We've been playing one of the songs from that record at the end of our show lately. I don't know if you've heard that crazy song that's kind of the out music.
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
I've been to enough shows that I've heard that song. Yes.
Yeah,
That's all. Wow, that's fantastic.
I don't know if I played on that track, but I might have.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah.
Fred passed me a question that I have to ask, and you mentioned Andy Partridge before, so of course we're going to ask about XTC. But your first session with Conduit of Humanity, which this kind of grew out of, obviously, included the snare. He capitalized the snare used for XTC Skylarking, and then for this project, we asked you to create a variation of Sacrificial Bonfire for Precipice of Innocence.
Right.
Can you tell us about like the time with XTC and creating drum lines based on that influence? Like, has that time influenced what you've created ever since, or was that a time and place?
I mean, what do you mean? Did it inspire what I've done ever since? Sure. I mean, everything that they kind of, that was another one where Andy was really, and Todd was, kind of stepping back because Andy had so many exact ideas of how he wanted the drums to be played and the parts. And I feel like, and that's what he said to me. He goes like, Prairie can play anything. Just let him know what you want and what you need. He'll deliver it, and he'll also bring the stick back as you throw it. That was part of that quote. But the Sacrificial Bonfire was, I don't know what your question is exactly, but we've set up 2 bass drums. I had 2 26-inch bass drums instead of like timpani or some kind of big ethnic drum. We just used 2 Yamaha bass drums on their sides, and I just played them like boom boom, and the snare parts and the crackling of the fire and all that. And there's a lot of that song I remember was done before I actually put the drum track on it. They had done a lot of that stuff in Woodstock, and that was the case in a bunch of the songs on that record. They did a lot of pre-production in Woodstock, and then came to our studio and got into it with me. And then when my parts were done, then they started adding background, vocals and strings and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then they fought a lot.
Well, I want to ask Joe a question about working with Prairie too, and about the idea of like what is easier for you both, coming in with a more complete song and just having Prairie come in and bring the stick back, or is it more interesting to experiment around with each other?
Oh gosh, I think what's fascinating to me is we set these sessions up, and I send the songs out and not really giving too many ideas. I mean, the Sacrificial Bonfire, I think for Precipice is one where we kind of had a little preconceived notion where we wanted to go with it. But, Prairie just walks into our studio in Redwood City and goes at it. And it's just, it's a great experience for me because I tell him what's working, and he gives me kind of free rein to do the engineering, and we just come up with some magic. And I think our last session was maybe 3 hours, and we probably recorded half the album. It was just a blast.
Yeah, it was, and it was. I felt like, because I did hear a few of the tracks. You sent me a few things to listen to beforehand, but when I got there, I didn't really. You kind of have to get in the mood and kind of get in the feel of the drum set and what I've got, and how it sounds in your head and stuff like that. But yeah, it was a really pleasurable experience. I mean, they always are, but that seemed to be even more pleasurable than other times. I don't know why. It was good.
Excellent. Well, we're so looking forward to having you on some tracks for the next album.
Well, and live in Portugal, for Christ's sake.
Live in Portugal.
I've been scouting out a studio for us for sure.
Cool.
I have one more question for you, Prairie. We want to let you rest because you've had a long haul, but I have one more question, which is you drummed also on the track that we ended up. It was at the first it was called Blink, I think, and we ended up calling it Ghost of You, and it became about breakups, but it's called The Ghost of You. And I want to know if you believe in ghosts. It's almost Halloween. Do you believe in ghosts?
Of course, yeah. I have a cabinet in my kitchen, which is from the 1700s, and it's been in my family since then, and moved around the Midwest. I think it came originally from Davenport, Iowa, and then it moved to Hollywood, and then it moved up to Washington State, and then it moved to Phoenix, Arizona, where I've had it my whole life. And there are definitely ghosts in that thing, because every now and then I'll just walk by it and I hear things, and all, the door will just open up and I'll shut it. And I'll come back a little bit later, the door's open again. And it's not a bad, it's not a bad lock or anything. It's just, I don't know. But yes, I do. I believe in ghosts, and I believe they're all good. I don't like bad ghosts.
Yeah.
How about you, Zan? Do you believe in them?
I'm going to be a good ghost on Halloween. I'm going to stay in my bed wrapped up in sheets and just put some holes in so I can breathe.
There you go. I believe in the recovery ghosts that Prairie is talking about, but yeah, no, I believe in ghosts too, for sure. Yeah. And the energy of spirits and everything. So, but I hope that you don't turn into a ghost, Prairie, like into a total like bedridden.
No, I won't. I'll just turn into a bandit.
You can wrap yourself up like a mummy. You can call yourself, that's your costume, is the sheets.
Get the vapor rub all around you, and
I'll have to come and trick or treat in my bedroom. Bring me candy. Let's throw candy at my bed.
That sounds great.
All right, Prairie, before we leave, I do got one burning question that people probably have, because Todd was at the meet and greet and said something about y'all going to Europe. You know anything about that?
I don't.
Yeah, maybe next summer.
I would be excited to hear that. That'd be great. Yeah.
Europe loves some Prairie Prince.
Yeah, and I hear that what is it? ELO is playing at Hyde Park in July.
Oh wow!
My friend got a ticket already.
Maybe that's when y'all be over there. Who knows?
Yeah, it will open for ELO.
All right, there you go. That's a great idea. All right. Well, I love you. Appreciate it.
You guys keep up the good work, all of you.
Thank you for joining us. We're so happy to have you.
We love all your support for everything that you guys do, and everything that we do. It's really special.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We'll keep doing it. Absolutely.
All right.
Feel better, Prairie.
Thanks for
Get well. Happy Halloween.
There we go.
Hi.
How about that one?
That was great.
Center.
We heard that. We heard that previous in the last one, but I liked hearing it again. I like hearing it a lot. Oh, I love your picture, Doug. That's sweet.
Thanks.
Martha
That's
and Prairie.
Prairie. Let's
Yeah,
say
Martha.
Prairie and Martha.
Mhm.
Prisma, when was
Oh,
that?
excellent.
Yeah.
Where was
Great.
that?
What year was that? Yeah, that was a long
Oh,
time ago. That was in New York. I remember that.
2010, maybe.
Yeah. This was
29, maybe. I don't
Todd
know.
performed at a cool little venue in New York, and we took Martha and
Yeah,
her
that's
drummer,
right.
Tig. Yeah.
That is right. That's right. Hey, I've
Okay.
got a question about that last song, and I'm not sure. Maybe Joe, you can answer. Actually, it's a two-pronged question. Who is your main lyric writer, and what is a center shaper? I looked up the concept on Google, and I'm more confused now.
I have to throw it to Candice, right? You wrote those lyrics.
Okay.
Yeah. It's more or less about being centered. I work a lot in ceramics, so it's not to be too literal, but there's definitely that's a component. And then
And the
more,
spirograph thing too that y'all had in the video.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's so I was thinking about things that move in circles. There's like a giant tray of sand at the Museum of Science and Industry, where you can learn about like fluid dynamics, and I don't know. It looks cool. There's also the House on the Rock, the big carousel there. So I'm thinking about things that, there's a lot going on, and sometimes your mind is like spinning, and then like, how do you sort of find your center?
I like it. I like
I
it.
have to call out one of Candice's lyrics in that, because we had a question when we were typing up the lyrics. The lyric is "form the inside," and we said, "Is it from the inside?" And Candice said, "No, it's form the inside, start within, find you're not so hollow." And it's just such a cool image. It's like if you start to form yourself from the inside and you find it from it actually came so much later in us doing the song, but when I heard that, it made so much more sense to hear how that song sort of feels and everything together. So I love that lyric. I think it's fantastic. That's all Candice.
Thank you. Thanks. I'm
It is
glad I
great.
asked. That
Yeah.
is really cool.
All right. So
thank
what? So Prairie's on that song and 3 others. Is that right?
Yeah, so he was on
Yeah.
Precipice, which we heard before, and Center Shaper, which we just heard, and he's on 2 more that we'll play soon later. I think we have 1 more in between before we get to the other 2 Prairie songs, but he was on 4 total on the album.
I'm going to guess that Candice came up with the title of this one too. The next one called Just Outside the Glass.
That's an old one. So when we were going down to Akron, Fred and I drove together, and he was giving me this like deep dive history about Rescord, his and Joe's music label, and they played this. Oh God, it's so funny. Can I play a little bit of it? They call it.
Oh my gosh.
What?
Can I get it to?
Sure. What are you trying?
This is
Does this pick up on the microphone?
Yes.
I remember my voice sounds kind of yours, though. I hit all the girls. I hit on a lot of girls the other night.
Humble beginnings.
Oh, okay. So I won't take up too much time with it, but there was just like track after track of like silliness. And we were cracking up. And so he is reminiscing, and I'm hearing it for the first time. And Just Outside the Glass comes on. It's like a fully formed, like a song. And I'm like, this song is awesome. Could we play this? And he says, well, would you want to sing it? And I said, sure, let's try it. So that's the beginning of that one.
Yeah, it's a cover from it's from the 80s, right? This is from back in the.
Well, that's a Fred and Joe question now.
Yeah,
I wrote it in '89.
There we go. And this one I have to mention before we forget to mention before we play it, that this one has Lexi on guitar, with an amazing guitar solo. She couldn't make it tonight, so we have to say hi to Lexi.
What?
but yeah, she's busy doing election work, so important stuff.
Really?
And but we have to. But yes, to go back to this is Joe and Fred's song from 19. Joe wrote it in 1989, and I heard it. And I thought this is a good. It's got really cool analog synth sounds, and I didn't want to lose too much of that, so we tried to keep it close to that as possible. But then Lexi had an amazing guitar solo, which is awesome.
You if it's 80s, you got to have some synth and a little sax. Maybe is there any sax in this song?
Oh,
There's no
I
sax.
wish.
That's not
We
too
should have
80s.
got. We should have called Bobby. We should have called Bobby, but
Yeah.
we didn't.
You got to have some sax if you want to go 80s on us. All right. So Lexi is not going to join us, but she's in on this action playing a little guitar.
Yes,
All right. Y'all ready?
absolutely. Yeah.
Sure.
Moments wrapped in everlasting images. See visions of the past. Life is colored in pastel blue. Nothing we do make it last. Try to be close to the things you love. Gravity pulls you away. Longing for things you cannot have. You try to make them stay. Look inside and tell me what you see. So unreal, what can it be? Reaching through the barriers that you cannot pass. It's time to realize you're just outside the glass. Lovers dance on Paris streets. You wish it could be you. Once again you cry out to them. Still nothing you can do. With an air of uncertainty, do I know how to do? Reaching out in all directions. You know the time is now. Look inside and tell me what you see. So unreal, what can it be? Reaching through the barriers that you cannot pass. It's time to realize you're just outside the glass.
All right. Pretty fun there.
Very danceable too.
Yeah.
Lexi's guitar just blows us away every time. Every time I hear that, it's just like when that came in, and just so you know the process, we add layer on layer, and so it's like you start with the drums and vocals, or you start with just the drums and guitar, then you get this track and you try to add your part, and you pass it on to the next person, and you don't know what it's going to sound like next. And when we got that back with Lexi's guitar, it was like, hallelujah. So I have to shout her out for doing that. It was great.
Well, I'm out of my trance.
Oh, good, Doug.
I know.
Very good.
We got you an upbeat one, Doug. I told you it was coming. I was like, it's going to get dancey. I promise. You know?
But we do have phases of deeper trances in the future. So be ready, Doug.
Trances are good. It's all good.
We'll put you back in the trance, and we'll take you out again. It's like Todd's every other song is like dancey, and you know, so
yeah. All right. So next up, we got a song called "Runaway." I'm gonna.
So the next couple of songs, I'll just introduce you because I had never done any kind of songwriting of my own. I was excited about this project because I thought, sure, if someone sends me a track, I'm happy to add keyboard. I can, you know, find my way into a synth track and add some layer to it. And then at one point we said we're going to get Prairie in the studio, and I thought I would love a chance to like try to write a song that I could imagine Prairie drumming to. Why not? Why not try that? Yeah. And I came up with the song "Runaway," which is what we'll hear next. And it was the roughest, as you heard when we were talking to Prairie, it was the roughest thing he probably has ever received as a drummer in terms of a song sketch. So I sent that to him, and it came back, and I just was blown away. And it, you know, it grew into more of a song. And similar with Ghost of You, he also Ghost of You will come after that, but he also drummed on that. And that was sort of a sketch that Jordon, who we'll talk about in a bit, Jordon Zadorozny, who's been our amazing mixer. He's mixed all these tracks and done an amazing job and added instruments through a lot of stuff. But it was just fun to try writing a song and feel enabled and empowered to do it as part of this project. So that's been a really amazing part of this for me. Okay,
say Jordan's last name 3 times.
No, and I might have it wrong. Like I've never said his name out loud. It's like when the first time I said paradigm out loud, I said paradigm. So it's I could be saying it wrong.
Joe, how do you say his last name?
Zadorozny.
Okay, so I wasn't far off.
You're good. You're good.
I'm going to have to let the cat out of the hat, but being at his place over the summer, I was informed that it's Zadorozny. So it's not the American version of it is Zadorozny, but it's, yeah, it's tough though. I mean, I could barely even walk around out there. So, yeah.
All right. So, Zan, how'd y'all come up with a name for this one?
For Runaway?
Yeah.
So I mean,
it's all female band, is it? It's just the Runaway.
No, and it's actually I'll be open and honest here. This is sort of about the fact that this year I have run away and gone to a lot of Todd shows. I'm not even kidding. It's like I'm going to run away, have my fun, be myself, and come back to who I am back at home. And that's like the opportunity to do that. And I'll always come back to who I am, but I always go away and have these wild times and come back to being myself. So that's what the song is about.
It's probably you and everybody in the chat room pretty much. Zan, by the way, has been to 12 of the We tour shows.
I don't know if that's something to be proud of or embarrassed by.
Absolutely.
Take away that 2 and we're tied.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Okay. All right, here we go. A little Runaway action.
Between the
There
Back
you
in
go.
a trance. Yeah.
From Zan's Race from Reality.
My escape from
Escape from
reality.
reality. I like it. I get it. Because people, they go to these Todd events and parties or whatever, and then, they all go back home and they're like, what do we call it? Like you have the
The come down.
yeah, you come back and
Re-entry.
like, re-entry. That's what it is. Re-entry.
Re-entry.
Yeah.
Yeah, re-entry to the real world, work, all that kind of stuff. Versus just going to Bearsville and jacking around at some Airbnb and walking around downtown, going to a party, going to 2 Todd gigs. It's probably a little more fun than working. Just saying. I get it.
And it doesn't have to be about Todd stuff. I mean, it's like all of us have this thing. We sometimes escape to something else in the world, and we have to come back to reality, or we have things that we go and do, and we become ourselves again, and then we come back to our reality. That's a great reality. So that's what it's about. So.
Both are good. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, all right. Now, Zan.
Yeah.
You were singing on that one and the next 2, is that right?
On the next one. So there's an instrumental that's kind of that I'm almost tempted to skip because we have a lot of songs to get through. But no, the next one actually, Doug, is a birthday present for you and for my sister, who was born on Halloween. As well. So it's, we're coming on Halloween tomorrow, and the next track is called Ghost of You. And it's not technically about ghosts. It's funny. I've been married for how many years? 20. I'm going to not do the math.
You better get
20,
right.
I know, exactly. I've been married for, let's see, what year are we? 2024. 23 years now, almost 24 years. And it's a breakup song, apparently. It's like I wrote a breakup song, just experimenting. But I decided to make it the song is called Ghost of You. And so in honor of Halloween, and in honor of Doug's birthday and my sister's birthday,
very nice.
I made some horror flick video for this.
Does it have any similarity?
Zan, with my birthday being yesterday, I feel like
exactly. Fred's birthday was yesterday.
Yeah.
No, I know you just got ghosted by me by saying forgetting. Fred turned 60 yesterday, so happy birthday, Fred.
Yeah, that's a bigger deal than mine.
It was my mother-in-law's birthday yesterday too, so we're sandwiched today in between some really, really amazing people's birthday, and so I made a horror film in honor of all these people.
Does this title or the song have any relation to Psychedelic Furs' Ghost in You?
The Ghost in You.
Do you know when you said that, I had not thought of it at all, but maybe it was in the back of my head, but I don't think it was. Yet
when I was putting together my album, when I was curating my albums today, a bunch of Psychedelic Fur records fell in my head. That's like the Ghost on You. I'm pretty sure.
That's a Ghost on You. Yeah.
All right. So we have a scary video coming up. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If you don't like horror movies, you might want to just do this for the next
I love them.
2 minutes and 30 seconds.
If you're scared easily or your kids are nearby,
it's not that scary.
Put them to bed. All right, here we go. Ghost of You.
No other way. You are the ghost of me, and I am the ghost of you. And you see, you gotta see, but I won't leave it on the other side. You see right through me, you never knew me. Calling out my weaknesses, or breaking the things I like. You see, don't ever see, you come away from this with all of your friends. Apparition, no other way. You are the ghost of me, and I am the ghost of you. The ghost of you. No senses, no defenses. You can always walk away into the void of dark. And then you see, you never retreat. Often nothing into the dancing unknown. When it all ends, to never depend on the simple words you said that night in the rain. And then you see, you're just on the tree, lighting up like you took a shot in the dark. No senses, no other methods. You can always walk away into the void of light. The void of light.
There it is. My chance is off again.
That was
Thumbs up.
good. That was good.
Yeah. I heard the lyrics shot in the
Jordan
dark.
initially wrote that song.
Oh, yeah.
Jordan, yeah, that started with Jordan.
Okay. Shot in the dark, little lyric thievery of Utopia. Just saying.
I
Not
didn't know what you meant by
intentional. I know it's not intentional. Sometimes these things come. So yeah.
I'm sure it happens many, many times. All right, good stuff. So that was Zan singing.
Yes. Yeah.
With
I almost
the
forgot.
music.
Yes, it was me singing. It was me singing multiple times in layers. Yeah, for sure.
What was the song that y'all put out first on this? It was on Facebook that you put out for this album. Do you remember?
That was Runaway, which we just heard before with the
Runaway.
video, the train video.
Yeah.
That was the first one.
So,
Mostly just because it happened to be ready first. There was no real reason behind the order we put things out. So yeah, I think, and I would actually like to, like I said, I want to call out Jordan's work on this because he's been getting stuff back and forth from us. He had hoped to join us. He's had, some small issues. We'll hopefully play the video from him next, actually,
Sure.
Doug, if that's okay.
Yeah.
But because he's been a real stalwart through this whole thing, like doing so much great work on this album. And that song started out as the Ghost of You just started out as his idea. And it grew from there. So he's been a real amazing person. He's part of Blinker the Star, and he is Blinker the Star, and he has a new album coming out. And he has an Indiegogo campaign that he's working on that I'm hoping we'll put up here somewhere too, because he really deserves our support. He's been fantastic through this whole process.
how about that? That's a lot. So you're gonna have to take a photo of it.
Take a photo. We'll put it in the chat somewhere.
I don't have a
Drop it in the chat.
QRC code, but that's the best thing. Take a photo of this, and we'll go ahead and come back to the Last Mirage. We'll go ahead and show the video, Jordan. So, give us a little background. So, Jordan had some kind of house burnt down. What?
His barn. Yeah. So he lives on an acreage out in Pembroke, Ontario, and I believe his mother and father have a house on the front of the property. Then he is back on the property with a home and his recording studio. 20 paces from there is a giant barn. It has all their musical artifacts and their live set. And a mother called Jordan a couple nights ago and said, the barn's on fire. Because it's sold, by the time they got there, it was over.
Oh, no.
Fire department's about 20 minutes from there. So the siding on his studio actually was starting to melt when they finally got it out. So he saved the studio. And
good.
Lost down to the ground.
Yeah, losing some music files due to fire sounds familiar.
Yeah, we've heard it before.
Yeah, not the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so all right, well, let's listen to Jordan. Let's see Jordan right quick.
Thanks.
All right, ladies, Jordan's a looker, by the way.
Oh, excellent.
All right. Yeah, get ready, Cruiser Mouth.
I'm ready.
Greetings all. Jordon Zadorozny checking in here from Skylark Park in Pembroke, Ontario. The 1,000 Weeks album is finished, and I had such a blast mixing this record. Such a disparate but talented group of people, and all leading from the heart. And so I just want to say congrats to everyone, and that I had a blast working on it. We had a fire here the other night, a barn fire, as you can see, and even some smoldering embers over there. We lost a lot of material stuff, but no one was hurt or injured, so we're all good. On my end, I just finished up a Blinker the Star album, my 13th full length, and gonna send that off to mastering today, and it should be in your digital retail outlet of choice in about a month. So just wanted to say hi and check in, and happy birthday to the Grand Poobah himself, Fred, who who corrals us all together and keeps us connected. So love all you guys and sending you all the best. Later.
All right, a little quick instrumental, The Last Mirage.
Yeah. That's the end of side A.
Yeah.
So that track comes, and if you got the vinyl, I mean, we should mention there is vinyl and see. Oh, I can't believe I haven't done this yet because I was so excited to get this in the mail
Be
today.
treated. There you go. Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's a real CD,
CD,
and we're getting
yeah.
the vinyl will come later this month, so you can get CD and vinyl through the Bandcamp. This is so exciting to have.
Hold on. Let's see.
But
Let's see.
oh, you want to do it big? Okay, so this is big.
CD. That's cool.
It's
looking.
a real CD.
Yeah.
I can take it out. It's not like an AI CD. It's like a real CD.
What's on the back?
This is a stained glass window. Can Fred and Joe, who did the photography again? This amazing
On the back of the
photography.
CD thing. Oh, that's cool.
the
Fred's
back.
wife
Candice,
did
that's
the inside.
Stacy did that inner picture.
Cool.
Okay. Stacy did that. And then we have all these things. And then Candice did the back. And so this is we're here. We just finished the instrumental. If you want to know where we are, I mean, we're skipping around a little bit, so we played some other songs too. But yeah, that was an instrumental, and it was it came about because we were talking about the sounds of our yard, and it was actually interrupting the recording process of like making the insects were making so much noise that it was interrupting my vocal recording. And so Candice said you should just point the microphone outside your window. Or to your window and record it, and that's what I did. And so you can actually hear a barred owl in that track hooting outside my window. So that's my actual backyard noise, all the insects and everything from my backyard. Some little that was originally called. I don't know if it's PC to say hobo, but it was called Hobo Finds a Bed, and it was about someone finally finding their way home and going to bed, and that's what that track was.
Okay, so we played this before and people liked it, so we don't do it again. What's the story behind used alien spaceship Carlot? I see Candice laughing. Maybe she has something to do with it. I see Joe laughing. Which one of you is in charge of this operation?
Fred called me and
It's my
told me
fault.
about a dream he had. And a lot of times people want to talk about their dreams and you just kind of zone out and wait for him to finish because it's like boring. But this was not. This was like surreal. And Fred can maybe talk more about it, but it was like where he's in this familiar place, but nothing seems the way he remembers it. And come to find out, he's not walking between Rose and a car lot, but it's like alien spaceships. And so it just sort of became a song. I think he could take over from here.
Yeah, Fred, that must have been some good stuff.
Well, the dream. Yeah, it was really good. It was a hybrid. It was a hybrid approach towards music, Doug.
Okay.
No, it's just waking up in a dystopian reality where so I grew up in Chicago and there was this car lot on Cicero and Diversey, and my dream, like, I don't know, a year ago was in that car lot, but it was about 40 years down the road from now. And there were spaceships in the car lot being sold, but it was still the same parking lot. The flags were still hanging. So as I'm explaining this to Candice, apparently she took all the notes and decided to create the lyrics for the song based on my dissertation of the experience. And then I started writing guitar, and then we just built it all the way up into this, whatever it's become. It's just a lot of fun. So yeah, it's this is all on me, man.
All right. So we'll do it
I
again.
wanted to take note that Trace Tedrick plays bass on this, and
Oh,
I love the heck out of what he did with this. And
Yeah, so
you know,
funky.
outside of Prairie, Jerry's our drummer, our resident drummer, and his drumming on this. It's just the performances just are blowing me away on this record. I'm like riding around with this whole record constantly now. I'm like, not that I don't have other music to listen to, but the performances are so good, and like in a physical form has been outstanding and fun.
okay. Used alien spaceship car lot, not to confuse with Marjorie's spaceship lasers. And we have Trace Tedrick, who is a big Todd fan and comes to Todd concerts and RR parties and goes way
Hey,
back
Trace.
with us. Trace Tedrick goes way back. You've seen him. He's the guy with the white long hair
Hmm.
at our parties. Trace Tedrick. Hope he's watching. All right, here we go.
I tap the pavement. The ground seems solid. This all looks familiar, but something's not quite right. Do I know this corner? It sure looks familiar. There's 1,000 little flags under the grid of light. The fever's rising. I open my eyes. Am I dreaming? What are all these lies? Can I wake up? Stuck in my mind. Am I still standing? All those flags and lines.
I'm looking around at these street signs. I'm at the corner and I'm a little disoriented because the street signs match the way I know them in my head, but nothing looks right. And there's this guy and he tells me what intersection we're at, and that sounds right. It's like it's a place that I know, but it seems so different and I can't put my finger on why. What I figure out is we're walking between the rows of cars. But these aren't like any cars I've seen before. I realize he's been trying to sell me one the whole time. What is this place? Like a car lot, but for alien spaceships?
So I take a risk
And I could buy one?
and open my mind.
All right, folks, that was The Meeting song that we just went straight into after the used Alien. Why not?
Shout out to Holly Duffy
Excellent.
for the last two lyric videos.
Thanks, Holly.
And also backing up to that Precipice of Innocence was the video was made by Dan Burke, who's from Illusionist Safety and Cheer Accident, and is currently touring in Europe and does some amazing video work. So just wanted
Holly's
to thank them.
video. Holly Duthie, excuse me. She helped us out a ton in 2020. She's good. Good with that stuff. All right. So The Meeting. Who was Trace was on that one?
That's me on the bass and Jerry on drums. And just a shout out to Jerry. He maintains our studio in Redwood City, and it just affords me the opportunity to have a place to record when I need to in San Francisco. As you know, Doug, I've relocated to Portugal. So yeah, I really appreciate Jerry, the playing. And he plays, his main band is an 11-piece horn band, a la Nearly Human.
Mm.
And I'll have to flip you some of his music sometime. I think you'd enjoy it.
Cool. All right. So we got a few more songs. Do you want to do the Chasm thing right quick?
I was gonna say we have people starting to trickle out, and I know this is available for archive, but I'd be happy to go with that and talk a little bit about it for a second before going to the next tracks. For sure.
Let's do that. Then we'll go to the other songs for the people who want to ride it out that can stay up late.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I'm on Central Time, so I got it made. And I do want to ask a question that might take a minute. So let's talk about this. This is Cliche. Are you doing an exact cover of it, or are you kind of making it your own?
It's a little bit our own spin, and I want to clarify before we play this. This is a very rough demo. we're still working on it. It's missing. Lexi's working on some guitar for it right now, and this is a rough vocal cut. So it's been one of those things that kind of got pushed aside as we actually finished the main album, and we wanted to save the cover for something separate. So, but we had Chasm Space, and as Joe knows, I cried when I heard it. when Chasm Space came through to my keys, I actually fell to the floor and cried. It was just a really special moment to think. Cliche is a very special song to me. It was the song that kind of made me start to really love Todd Rundgren's music in a way that was, deeper than just what you'd heard on the radio. And to get the opportunity to work on this with Chasm was a really special thing. So this is a very rough sneak peek, but we didn't want to hold it back. We wanted to share a little bit of it.
Who's singing on this one?
This is Candice singing lead, and I'm singing backing vocals.
Okay, so Candice, are y'all trying to make this exactly like the Todd song, but a female version, or are y'all kind of doing it a little bit different?
Close. I think you'll find that it starts differently.
Yeah.
It won't be exactly.
Structurally, it's different, and it's by the time this thing's said and done, it's presented to Rundgren Radio. It'll definitely have a different taste. Guitars aren't going to be traditional. Some will, but some won't. But you'll see right from the get-go, this is like the beginning snippet where it is not the normal structure. So
we're not trying to do faithful Todd faithful
Okay.
cover.
But the message is the same.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
That got Zan into it.
Yes. 100%.
All right, so looking forward to hearing this one, and I know everybody else is, so we'll do that, and we'll be right back.
One more orchestrated song and dance. Hit the upfront and speaker's piece and ask for her time to put their heads together and try to make the night unwind. And it strikes home that it's time to make this move, or it's time to
Cool.
It's almost cruel to do it that short, but
No, I feel like I'm an insider, and I'm in the studio with Chasm and y'all doing this. It was really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't get to hear that kind of, that kind of parts of it and how it comes together. That's really neat.
Yeah.
Sounds good too. That's gonna be
There's
great.
There's so much more to go. I mean, we're very excited about it.
Yeah.
I'm very excited about this one. So
Yeah, but we'll get to hear that all we want. That's something that you just don't get to hear every day.
yeah.
And that's like the bass separated out and the singing. It was really good.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Chasm is getting really good as a bass player, I've noticed.
Yeah. What?
I have to share this because when Joe, I'm just going to air this out because Joe, and sorry, Joe,
Oh, here we go.
I didn't tell you I was going to do this, but when Kaz was recording this, he was going through Joe and he was saying to Joe, it's not exactly like we've done it on tour or on the album. And I was racking my brain thinking like, what did I do differently? And what chords did I get wrong? And so like we had this little back and forth and I was a little panicked that like I'd done this horrible version of Cliche that was just all wrong. And I realized later there was like a very specific chord that I had done slightly differently. And I managed to fix it later, but he was able to record what he needed to it. I know it's the music is tough, man. I mean, the Cliche, the Todd music is tough to get right. So yeah.
That's what we love about the tribute bands at our parties. They get it. They somehow figure it out.
Yeah.
Did you hear my backing vocal in there, Doug?
No.
Neither did I.
Yeah.
Like I
Funny.
said, it was awesome. No, I'm just kidding.
I edited that out, Fred. In the most recent mix, I edited it out.
All right.
It was
so,
a ghost of a vocal, I guess. I don't know.
you'll be in it. I mean, there's no way y'all going to let Chasm be on the album. Not everybody get a piece of that action.
Yeah.
Right? I know how this works. All right. So I'm going to kick Joe and Fred out for a second and myself. And I'm going to ask these ladies. So we have, I've heard some references tonight, and I got some of my own. Runaways, Bananarama was brought up. I'm going to mention Go-Go's, Indigo Girls. These are bands of females. I know this album is supposed to be about female singing. There's some guys playing and whatnot. But tell me a little bit about how those type of bands influenced you or didn't, and what you think about them. Let's have a little chat about it.
I can't. I mean, oh, Doug even left. Okay, so now it's just us ladies. Let's talk lady rock. I want to say quickly. So, like, bands that I feel like is so far from my experience of like the Todd world. So it might be new to some people watching this right now. But the band Lush, I talk about all the time. When we did this album, I really thought a lot about Lush and those 4AD bands that were very female led, and we've talked a little bit about things like even the Breeders and the Deal Sisters and those inspirations from that sort of 90s era female led bands, and that really inspired me when we were doing tracks like Ghost of You. I was channeling Lush as I was trying to record those vocals because I thought I wanted that sort of
Now, what's the name of the band?
They're called Lush, Lush. Okay. Lush.
I thought you were saying Rush. And I thought, we need to go back in here. Okay, now I
would love to hear an all-female version of Rush. I mean, but that would be amazing. But no, they're called Lush, Lush, and they're that sort of shoegaze era of female vocalists that were, and Fred even compared it to stuff like Echo Belly. That was a big influence. And obviously, I grew up listening to Heart and the Bangles. Like those were big important bands for me to hear those kind of vocals and vocal harmonies. And Candice, I know you listen to all kinds of music too, but I'd love to know your female influences.
I like the comparisons I keep hearing to the Cocteau Twins, that sort of washy, especially when you and Lexi add your harmonies, that blending kind of is reminiscent of that sound.
I agreed. I heard Cocteau Twins too, and somebody mentioned that in the chat room, and I was like, yeah, I get that. So y'all's voices all sound so nice blended together, and I don't know if it's if it's Joe or the other guy. I'm sorry, I can't remember his name, but I like how everything is slightly on an echo. The vocals, I mean, it's lovely.
I think that's Jordon. When he puts everything together, he like balances the levels and adds this sort of effect.
Well, it works.
There you go. So Zan froze. Okay, so this is going to sound awful, and y'all can get on to me all you want, but we just talked about females, and the next song up is called Behind the Mirror.
very haunting.
I'm back in my trance.
Very good.
Good stuff.
It's funny. It's funny you said haunting, Mel. Fred, and I hope you don't mind. I think I would love to hear your story behind that, because Fred had asked me to put words on that song to something that was originally intended to be an instrumental, and I would like Fred to share his version of that.
Yeah, that was so this song was, the roots of it were me coming out of and you might like this, dog, back-to-back listen of Pharaoh, the Kings and Hemispheres from Rush.
No, yeah.
And I was just playing around with the same chords, and I was like, oh, I like this progression, and I just kept going through it. So I gave it to Jordon, and he did everything else. So it's my guitar, his guitar, drums, bass, synth, and it was released as a Conduit instrumental, Conduit of Humanity, in the spring. So then when Zan joined us and we started putting everything together, I had to reach out to her because I was seeing a whole other thing here vocally that she actually did without realizing she did it. So my vision, she met it without me even having a conversation about it. And that's what's really cool about this record, is everybody has comprehension of what everybody else is doing. There's so many intermingled influences here. It's literally effortless for us to understand each other's writing and to put it together. And then on top of that, Joe makes this video, and I literally had to take a nap after it. It was so overwhelming that Joe's vision, visually, aesthetically, matched my idea as well. So I don't know what strange magic's happening here, but yeah, it's absolutely insane. This song isn't for everybody, but for those who are into it, we're having that same conversation. Just about, is that like Alex Lifeson? What are you doing? But then they hear Zay.
We keep losing. I know, we keep having the issues.
All right, when he's talking about Mel's not favorite band, Rush. Oh well.
So
right.
Zan, could you recite the last line of the outro?
Do you know it's funny because every time I hear that song, I'm like, I forget about that part every time. And I don't know why I decided to do that. I believe in fairies. I believe in childhood things. I believe in all the magic of a universe reclaimed, I think is what I sing there. And
when I was working on the video, I thought, this is what we're trying to say 1,000 weeks means. I think it's just a perfect summation of what the band means, that we have a generation, we have 1,000 weeks to make things better. And I think just the way you summarize it there really was awesome.
And it's weird to what Fred was saying, like sometimes these things just, come and I don't know why I sang that. I don't know why I used those words. Not to put too much magic into it, but it was sort of like the idea. I mean, the Conduit track was originally called Fairy Faith, and I was trying to be somewhat faithful to the idea of that, and then still give it my own take, which we talk a lot about on this album, like different people taking lyric writing things. We have very different styles, and mine are not mine. I mean, the ones I took lead on writing lyrics for were sometimes more generic or high level, but we talk about, we're all sort of in the same realm of understanding what we're talking about. And so even if it's a very different style, it ends up being about the same thing.
And Candice even shot a mini movie just so I could come up with a cover of, I believe it was you, Candice, holding the milkweed or the dandelion that was just blowing away.
Yeah.
So that was like an inspiration to continue the ideal as well. So all of this synchrodestiny of, influences and collaboration is really interesting and special.
Nancy Sackmore says you are all on a shared trip.
Amen. Hi, Nancy.
Nancy knows. Hi, Nancy.
Nancy does know.
She does. Yeah.
All right. So next up, we got a song called Headlights.
Yeah, and I want to. So Rachel was going to join for a few minutes, but she is very sick, as is her child, like really sick. But I asked her just to send me a little blurb so I could just share a little bit about her. Her and I worked together for years. She just retired at the tender age of 30. She lives in the Texas area, and she sings. She just sings because she loves life like that. She sings regularly. Anytime I've been in presence, she just starts singing. That's just who she is. Anyway, the irony here is right after the used alien spaceship and that dream I had, and the headlights in the parking lot, she just flipped me this MP3 of her just randomly singing in the moment. And she titled it Headlights. And I'm like, what? And I play it, and it just, to me, it went right through my soul. It felt like I was listening to a recording from the 20s or 30s. And so, and you know, she explains herself as just the good old girl who has cows on a farm, and but she does have lineage to Elvis Presley, which I've always found fascinating. And her voice is so good. So we worked this into creating, to end our record minus the bonus track, an old-timey song. And everybody understood what had to happen, the samples, the old-time record. And then Zan came in with apparently those ghost fingers you saw on the Ghost of You video were utilized for the making of these keyboard parts.
All right, here we go. Headlights.
I told you that I really hate you. Please turn those headlights around. If you come back to, I might just forgive you. Think about that night in town. When I see your true face, I cover mine in mistakes. I don't know how I won't break. If you come back, I might just take you back. But for right now, don't turn around. I don't wanna be let down.
All right, that was a quick one.
Yeah,
What'd you think, Mel?
I liked it. I didn't expect it to be that short, but you did say it, didn't you, or something? Little MP3. So I liked it. I liked the scratchy record, scratchy, whatever.
Vintage, baby.
It did. It gave
On
it.
records.
It gave it its own, vintage feel.
There you go. All right, so
That's the album. I have to stop here. That's the album.
no.
No.
Well, we have one more track. I know.
Another track. Come on now. All right, so Fred.
Yeah.
I understand one of Todd's very involved musicians, sidemen for Todd for years, John Forensic, had a comment about your album or one of the songs, maybe?
Yeah, I didn't know if he was going to be able to jump in or not, but him and I have been buds lately, which has been really fun. You know, I've been supporting and loving his record, Another Thrilling Episode, and we just started talking a lot. We have some commonalities outside of the music world, and then he was saying like, hey, you know, flip me what you got. So I did send him Used Alien when it was in its, let's just say, intermittent form. It was about halfway there. Yeah. And he gave me some really formidable feedback, which became my notes, which means he gets that credit for that. And when you hear, like, for example, Candice's speaking voice on Used Alien Way Up, that was him saying it's got to go above. You need that. There were certain keys coming in that he thought should go up. Some should be dropped. So anyway, I just took what he had and threw those notes in there. And it's wonderful chatting with him. He's just such a great guy. I know you all know about John, of course. You know, this is newer for me. I didn't really even talk to him at Toddstock, but he's just such a great human being. And if you haven't heard his record, please do. It's like that Blow by Blow era, but it's like it's modernized. It's, you know, the Jeff Beck feel. It's the fusion's just amazing. But yeah, he was helpful, and I hope that we'll continue a conversation in the future about music.
Yeah, Forensic would be great on some of y'all's stuff. He's he goes way back. Mel and I had him on podcast, I don't know, 15 years ago or more.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple of times. He
Like
was
2008 or
yeah,
something.
he did individualist tour, like the album TR-I individualist tour with Todd. He did some
Liars.
Yeah.
Liars, and then something after that with us. I mean, he goes way back. He's a good guy. So he's got a lot of
Wasn't he in Navarro? Wasn't he in Navarro?
Yeah.
Wasn't he on bass in Navarro? Yeah.
Yes, he was,
So
yeah.
he was playing bass at that
He
show.
showed up in a
Yes.
suit, and I'm like, "What's this all about?" And I'm like, "I just want to be at the fire pit listening to Jeske through the balcony playing his guitar shop." And it was like, how proper can somebody be at Toddstock? But I didn't understand his vibe back then, but now I do.
Yeah, Candice was going Deborah Harry on this little rapture with that chatting during used car. During the Alien song.
Yeah.
Sort of. But yeah, that was cool. That was a good idea. So that was Forensics' idea, huh?
Some of the mix notes on my end. We all provide mix notes, you know, if we're involved in a particular track, but those were generated from his ideas.
Yeah. I mean, I can imagine you guys there are so many people that have been in Todd's world that you can connect with to do things with you, like Prairie and Chasm have done, and Forensic. It's really cool.
Yeah, no, I don't know if you know Douglas Kennedy, but him and I chat a lot. And
Oh yeah,
boy, he can play guitar.
Kennedy was actually Mel and I's very first gig we ever did as promoters was Chasm, and Doug Kennedy was there and Jesse Gress.
Oh wow!
In Atlanta.
Way back with Doug. That was like 2007, maybe.
In
And it's on DVD.
Yes.
Dougie. Yeah.
And I got
So,
to
yeah.
interview Chasm by myself
There you go.
on the DVD.
Yeah.
I was
Doug
so
Kennedy, good
scared.
people. Good guitar player. Good people.
Mel,
Yeah,
that's the first time I've seen you smiling all night.
Yeah.
That is not true. That is not at all.
true.
Cut it
Anytime
out.
he's solo on a show, it's all smile. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Doug and Mel, your CDs are on the way, by the way. Those were shipped today.
Okay, cool. Thanks. Well, we just heard all of it. We got it now. I
That's
want
right.
vinyl. I want autographed vinyl.
And if anyone, it's funny, I was joking about autographing all the copies of the CDs I have, and my husband said, but then they just have your name on it. You'd have to send it to everybody in the, in the band. But so if anyone has pre-ordered from the Bandcamp, those should be shipping soon, right, Fred? Or they already
Everything
the
that
CDs
was
shipped?
all CDs have been shipped that have been ordered.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That was
Good
my
job.
birthday treat to myself, is to go to the post office with our music. I mean, what could be a better day than that, right?
Yeah.
So
There's how to
You
get
can
it.
still,
Bandcamp.
you can still get them. You can still get vinyl, and you can still listen to the album on Bandcamp. So, if you like
and
it,
you know,
you-
we have we're on a second record right now. I mean, we're immediately on it, plus Conduit in 2025. So the support here obviously drives us to be able to get this done all over again. And I don't know, we have I think 8 to 10 songs ready to get to work on. And some
What's
of them are,
Conduit working on? What are y'all doing? You guys, who all you got involved in that?
what do we got, Joe? We got Monty and
And
Darren Danahy.
Darren Danahy. Yeah.
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 And a lot of us.
We're looking for more contributions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If
People
you've
have
got a song
songs
you want to
for
bring
Conduit.
in. Yeah.
Yeah. Zan, have you ever done something like this before?
No, and you know it's funny you just mentioned that if you have a song you want to bring in, because it's really it's a really cool process, because everyone here is really open to saying, hey, if you have something, it's not like there's no real audition process except for, you know, it's like we'll pass it around if it makes sense and if it builds. It's sort of like it's the snowball that, or whatever the Rolling Stone it's actually, I wanted to say the Rolling Stone that gathers moss, but that's incorrect. But it's the snowball that grows, and it just keeps on like building, and whatever builds and ends up building to the thing. It's just such a cool process to watch happen, and like watch these things grow into full-blown songs. It's really impressive. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So
And I looked up the
I-
reference. It's a Rolling Stone gathers no Mick Jagger solo records.
It's fun to see some folks from the Todd fan community come into doing these kind of things and building these bands and doing these albums. It's a lot of fun.
And combining their creativity together for something
Yeah.
that I mean, I'm no musician, so I don't know the world y'all are talking about, but it's really neat hearing you guys talk about your contributions with each other.
Well, and
Mel
it's
spoke-
I would say too, like I thought I was just going to be, you know, a pretty background figure here, and it's like the good thing about this is like Mel, maybe you are a musician inside, and maybe you do have a
She's a
song
drummer.
that this
She's
would bring
lying.
out. Like
She's a drummer. Mel, tell the truth.
she's gonna build a drum kit out of trash, like
Cruiser Mel is
Prairie.
a drummer. Tell
Yeah,
the truth.
we'll do it.
I did have a set of Slingerlands when I was 13 years old, so there you go.
No,
Yeah.
Mel, you're gonna be on the next album for sure.
Music goes deeper than you think. That's right. All right, so let's do a
Love
little
it.
Runaway remix. What's the difference in this and the Runaway?
So this, my friend Lee, who I really had hoped to get on the show tonight. Lee is amazing. Lee lives in Prince Edward Island. He's a huge Todd fan. That's actually how I met him. And he and I did a never to be aired or yet to be aired podcast with another friend of ours about our love of Todd albums, and it never saw the light of day. But he's a wonderful, wonderful person, and he does a lot of instrumental music on his own page. So you can find him on Bandcamp. His name is Lee Rosevere, Rosevere. And he reached out to me. He was like, could I do a remix of this song when he heard it? And I said, absolutely, that'd be fun. And I never really understood the remix process. So we just got him some vocal stems, and he had his way with it. And he decided to do a really fun, like, house mix of Runaway, and we loved it. And we said, let's make this like the bonus track on the CD. So we were really excited to have Lee do this. He's, like I said, he's a Todd fan. It's so funny because like we're talking about all this, we're all Todd fans in different ways. I don't know that you'd necessarily hear any of this music and think, oh, that sounds just like Todd Rundgren. Like none of it necessarily sounds just like that.
Right.
But so like we all come, you know, in different ways to the music we love and the music we're influenced by. So, but Lee did a remix and we love it. And it's a fun dancey track and it's great. And Joe did a video for it.
All right. Well, everybody, we appreciate it. It's been good. Love the music.
Thank you.
Fred, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday
in
to you,
advance
Doug.
to you.
And happy
Yeah,
birthday,
happy
Doug,
birthday.
tomorrow.
Tomorrow, but it's all good. Joe, Bom dia, even though it's night over there. Appreciate you staying up late.
Bon night.
Boy, no, okay, is that it? All right, good. Joe's over in Portugal. All right, so we got the ladies left, besides me.
And you.
But I feel like I'm part of the group. But anyway,
You can.
We're
You're an honorary
You're
lady
one
today.
of the
we're gonna let y'all go out
One of the
last
girls.
before I play the final song. So just as a reminder, the concept 1,000 Weeks is to have all female vocals. That's the
But that
difference.
But not mine.
In Conduit of Humanity.
Mel, you're welcome. Yeah,
We're
that's
picking Mel
the
out.
main. They're main. Mel. Yeah, so we'll have our female voices. So Doug is going to leave us in the room. I did not expect this, but Candice, it's you and me. So we get to say thank you, everyone, for listening.
Oh,
We
thank
hope
you so
you'll
much.
check out the album. We're so excited for you to hear it tonight. And this is Runaway, the remix by Lee Rosevere.
We'll never run away.